Hi, I'm Dan Raywood at Infosecurity magazine here at Infosecurity Europe with Chris Boyd, researcher at Malware Bytes. Chris, how's your show going?
Oh, brilliantly. Really good stuff. Did a talk yesterday at the booth. It's going great.
Excellent. Now, you've done a lot of work on ransomware research, and I know you're talking about that here. 2016, ransomware's changing quite a bit, becoming much more prominent. A lot of people getting infected. We've seen hospitals paying up, including a story that's actually appeared during the show about another hospital paying up. Where do you see ransomware changing, and what new directions is it taking?
I mean, ransomware is definitely increasing. There's no doubt about it. We've, our own stats, our own honeypot show us that in the last couple of months, we've seen an increase from about 17% to about 60% rise, which is pretty dramatic. And that's just in a couple of months. And we're seeing that the hackers are coming up with more and more sophisticated ways to encrypt the files. It's becoming more difficult to recover them. One of our own researchers spends a lot of time coming up with ways to decrypt the files, looking for errors in the code, ways that we can get people's files back for them. So we're now seeing sort of a bit of back and forth action, like the way we used to do sort of mid-2000s. And we're also seeing this weird rise in semi-honest ransomware peddlers, if you like, where it's in their best interest to give people their files back if they pay, because obviously if they don't, then they're basically breaking their own ecosystem. So the most dramatic rise we've seen is in the rise of, I guess you would call it ransomware as a service, where you will see these pro groups, semi-pro groups giving out hacking kits where you can go off and roll your own ransomware. But between the point where they make the kit and the point where they produce the ransomware, these script kiddies are messing with the code, they're breaking the code. So you end up with this ransomware where the victim pays, but something breaks and it doesn't decrypt the files correctly. So now you're seeing lots of angry pro-ransomware authors angry at the script kiddies who are effectively impacting their bottom line by not giving them their files back. So I'm sure you saw 7 ransomware not so long ago, which as a token of good faith, they would actually say, okay, we've got your files, we will give you them back for X amount of Bitcoin or whatever, but look, we will decrypt the first amount of files for free to show you that our program works, and you can trust us to pay us money. So that's pretty interesting development.
Another thing we are talking about with ransomware quite a lot is recovery. Like I say, hospitals are now being forced to pay up. They're not being forced to pay up, they're choosing to pay up, which obviously that money then goes back into cybercrime. Apart from just backing up regularly, is there actually any advice you can give to people in order to be able to recover from ransomware, or maybe prevent it in the first place?
Yeah, sure. I mean, backup is a great piece of advice, and it's something I give, it's something many other researchers give, because obviously most security tools can remove the infection, but the actual encryption part is in many cases, it's game over. But it's not just enough to back up the files. What I advise people is they need to have a logical backup system in place. It's great if you've got some way to roll back these horrible attacks, but if the system isn't logical, if your backups don't make sense, then in many cases you may well just find, okay, we'll just pay the ransom, because otherwise we're doomed.
That's absolutely the case, and what's been a very interesting development in 2016 was Decryption, which I guess was quite prominent. Did you see a lot of that?
Yep.
Right. Why do you think they actually decided to do that?
The Decryption guys, they've obviously moved on to something else. They've just thought, whatever, we'll just give them the key. Enjoy, it's on us, So next time these guys may appear somewhere with their new ransomware file, they may put themselves out there as, coming now from the authors of Decryption, we've got this for you. People are going to remember that the last token gesture they made was, oh, well, okay, they did give everybody this master key, we'll give them our money and see what happens.
If they found they had infected like a hospital or something, that a charity, that they might think, okay, we'll decrypt you because, we're getting bad press for doing that, as opposed to someone who they may want to target. Do you think that could ever happen?
It's entirely possible. I'm sure that may have happened somewhere, but again, like CFO fraud breaches, where someone pretends to be a CEO and gets the CFO to send a wire and all that money's gone. It depends on the victim coming forward. So in the case of CFO fraud, we know there's a lot of cases out there where it's gone unreported because no one wants to hold their hand up and say, we've just lost $7 million or £40,000 or whatever. And in the same way, it's possible like a hospital got attacked and the bad guys went, okay, here's the key. But what I'm kind of looking out for is someone to come up and say, we are the authors of this. previously the makers of TeslaCrypt, and they're not even related to that file. You know, it's possible because a lot of these groups, there's infighting, there's denial of service attacks between one another. So, you know, you're going to get trolls trolling the trolls effectively with, we made this one, we'll give you your money, your files back if you pay us. And then, of course, they pay them and they don't get their files back. Definitely the infighting is something to watch out for because we're all going to be caught in the middle of that.
It's a crazy situation that it's got a long way to go, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, thanks very much for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.